professionals. All of them are working on data, providing insights that help Ford's operations globally. And all of this really helps Ford to deliver best products and services to its customers. And all of that is done from this beautiful campus that we have in Chennai. The Ford Business Solutions team is not just shaping the future of Ford, but it's in fact shaping the future of mobility, one algorithm at a time.
The Chennai is involved in developing solutions for sports operation worldwide. This includes cutting-edge work in connected electric and self-driving cars. We also work on exciting projects for our climate service arm, Ford Credit, and our commercial vehicle business, Ford Pro.
We have many diverse projects for you to build your career in data engineering and data analytics as an all-round professional. The team cuts across all the functions for global business operations, including manufacturing, quality, product development, marketing, sales, and service. You name it, and a team in Chennai is already working on it.
But how are they?
Simple. The tools and platforms we get to work here are incredible. From the full Google Cloud stack to tools like Mac1, ML, or home platform for deploying even the most advanced machine learning and AI models. What is it?
ரொம்ப கீழ இருக்கும் தெரியாது
Our team is a powerhouse of data experts, during data
இங்கே
engineers,
இருக்கட்டும்
data scientists, and software, working together seamlessly to build a robust data fields.
ஸ்பீக்கர் ஆல்சோ வில் பி
Our team builds powerful data pipelines and architectures that fuel our cutting-edge models, all deployed in the cloud.
While everyone's watching AI, what's Ford shifting its gears?
So currently, we have hundreds of projects going on, embedding this cutting-edge tech into solutions for every aspect of the business. Gen AI and LLM are a huge focus area for us. Especially, LLMs are accelerating value definition and revolutionizing user experience. Exciting times.
We get to work on meaningful problems and have our voice all the way up to global civilization. I feel valued and heard.
The culture at Ford Business Solutions is all about continuous learning and empowerment.
We are encouraged to explore new AI advancements through dedicated applied projects and proof of concepts to ensure we remain at the forefront of this transformative technology. Ford is investing heavily in this space, and it's great that we get to learn and help shape the future of the company. Ford also fosters a culture of continuous learning and experimentation.
Diversity and inclusion is in our DNA. We have an active employee resource groups and allies at all levels to ensure everyone feels empowered and welcome. From our inclusive workspace design to the benefits we offer, like flexible working policies, insurance coverage for LGBTQ partners, Ford walks the walk when it comes to diversity.
As you can see, Ford's Business Solution team is driving real innovation for a company with global legacy in moving the world forward.
With a culture of empowerment, cutting-edge technology, and commitment to diversity, this is the place to build a career in data science that makes an impact.
With over 25 years of operations, 1,000 plus employees in India, and infinite commitment to growth, Ford stands tall.
Good to go.
Good morning, everybody. I see here, and thanks for attending on this Saturday. And thanks for choosing us just to connect with us on your
Maybe
weekend.
keep the mic close.
Hello.
Yes.
So here we are with fantastic speakers today, and let me just take you to the agenda for what we have today. So we will be having for the initial 15 minutes the introduction, the icebreaker, and we will have the first session, and then we will have the SQN Prabhu who have given this opportunity, a small pep talk from him, and then we will have a break for 15 minutes, and then we will continue with the two sessions, and we will grab our lunch, and then we can connect with the people leaders we already have for today. So coming to this slide, we have our another meetup. So these are some of our meetup groups which is handled. One is channel urban sharing, and which is handled by Mayappan. He's currently not here today. And this is for Chennai Site Reliability Engineering, which is handled by Clarence, and this is our platform engineering team, which is handled by Bhalachandran Rajan and then Achyutan. And also we have a speaker from urban sharing today. Thanks for making time. So we had footfalls from these companies and institutions. So these are some of the pictures from our past sessions. So coming to Huawei, we are a tech group which we would like to connect and grow our community with all the fantastic people and enthusiasts all over the world. So we will have a speaker session. We would like to ask you to scan this QR for the technical quiz. Just let me know once you have scanned it so that we can start. I see 27 people joined. Can we start? We could just start. Yes. So, which of the following best describes the benefit of using capabilities for content orchestration? Please choose your answer. We have 20 seconds left for each question. Please be the fastest finger first. Yeah, I see we have more votes for the first option. Let's give the correct one. So the second question is what is the difference between Kubernetes? I see so many people have opted for the third option, which is direct resource optimization. Moving on to the third question. What type of workload typically benefit from using ingress into Kubernetes? Yeah. So let's see the correct answer to this one. Yeah, it's stateless microservices.
Suppose going
This question. We'll move on to the next question. What is the role of Kubernetes in Kubernetes? I see 48% people have chosen managed containers in Kubernetes, which is correct. Moving on to the next question, what is Helm in Kubernetes ecosystem? Hope you all have choose your answer. Revealing the answer one, 69% have actually answered a package manager Kubernetes application, which is correct. Let's give the leader vote. I see Lakshmi have answered all these questions correctly in 47 seconds. Can we have Lakshmi raise his hand? Yeah. Organizers, can you please hand over the chocolate? Definitely was answered written fast. I think he got 4 out of 5 questions, which is. Can we have Nitin? So till now we have very technical, right? Can we have
Chandan.
not technical questions as well? So this I speak over.
Hey, Megha, I think they have the chocolates.
Oh, yeah.
Can we give it to Lakshman and Chandan?
Nitin.
Nitin, Chandan,
Mm.
Kamalesh. What Kamalesh? And Dana. Kamalesh. Okay.
Yeah. So this picture or this a phrase. People who knows the answer can raise your hand. Yeah. Yeah. Yes, he was correct. chocolate to that person, please. What's your name? No, no, yes, that's what we want. You can give it first when the session ends. That's fine. Yeah, can you guess this word?
Short break.
I don't have those many chocolates. Yeah. So many people answered. You have to choose. Okay. And it's your task now.
We'll move to next question.
Shortcut. Okay. Baked.
It is.
Baked. Soft baked.
This one.
Emotions. Yeah. Mixed emotions.
Lakshman, I guess you answered it right. Lakshman have answered it first.
What is it? Passport. Oh, sport.
This one. Almost there.
Heavy metal. Lopsided.
No, no. Like there's a seesaw and it. Yeah.
Heavy metal. That's what I told. Heavy metal. Proof capture is important. Correct. Correct. Back to basics.
I bet to guess this place. Who will be guessing this one will be getting points? This was my favorite and we had a very big battle between two idols to put this one award.
Drummer. Sorry. Dumb.
No, no. Please be louder. Please be louder. Yeah, it is.
Bermuda.
Yeah. Thanks for your active participation in this one. And I clap for you. So we'll start off first session. I would like to invite Kauli.
Usually, I know.
Good morning, everyone. First of all, thank you for being here. Myself, Gauri Shankar, I work as a DevSecOps engineer in Ford. First of all, today we are going to discuss about the topic SAST. Before getting into this topic, right, let me put you this question. Like, how many of you here have actually deployed an application into production and later realize that there is a security bug, and then uh, try to fix it, try to take any action on it. Good to know that nobody has replied. But yeah, that's where SaaS comes into picture. But think of it like SaaS as a like a spell checker, basically which checks uh, your code against some. But instead of checking the grammatical mistakes in your code, it will basically correct your mistakes, like the security flaws within your application security code, source code, and before even your app gets deployed, so or even executed. So that's where SaaS comes into place. Um, I request everyone to share this QR code. We'll have a quick pulse check. Actually, it is not Wi-Fi is I'll just try to see for that. But I'm not able to see my locations. Maybe I will see this in. So, what SaaS tools are you currently using in your organization? You have to. It's not getting the presentation.
You have to specifically share. You only share the PPT. That's why they show this. You have to share the screen. Yeah, now.
So, how much of your currently using SaaS tool in your product? Okay, close to 45% have said yes. So I can see 55% have said no. We'll move to the next question. What SaaS tools? So I can see Sonar Fuel is being used by many students. Okay, so 86% said yes. And there are 14% said no. How many of you have personally fixed a vulnerability identified by a SaaS tool? I can see many of them have said no. Maybe uh, maybe you may have ignored it as a false positive. So that is fine.
Do you need an assistant?
Let me quickly get started with the session.
After this session, I'll chat with Prabhu about the skill because you guys are use this platform, right? So just small time. But he's aware,
So
he will
in today's fast-paced environment, so developers are under the immense pressure to deliver the features faster, right? So, but do we really think about the security aspects? Like security is always really at the end, right? So it leads to a lot of costly fixes at the later stages, loss of reputational damage and loss of trust, right? So our mission is to basically embed security into our entire development process seamlessly, so that security is not really handled at the end, but at the during the development phase itself. Moving to the next slide. So, SAST. Many of you wonder like what is SAST? So, static application security testing is nothing but like a testing methodology, commonly known as white box testing. So, what does it do? Like basically, it analyzes your source code and it will identify some severe vulnerabilities against your source code, and it is going to tell you even before your code is deployed or your application starts to run. So how does it work? So it basically runs it against a set of predefined rules and policies already. There is a vast database based on the industry standards like OWASP, CWE, CSI, and SANSTOP, critical web application security vulnerability. So based on all these rules and policies, it is going to evaluate your source code, and you can also have your custom policies also different. We'll show that in the later phase, but that is pretty much it. So this is how SAST functions. What problem does it solve? Like basically, as we mentioned, right? So in your development phase itself, you are able to fix your vulnerabilities. So that's like a game changer, right? Now you'll be able to identify your security flaws within your code base even before your app is deployed. So that's kind of a big changeover, and you'll be the faster the faster you identify a flaw, it will be easy for you to fix, and at the same time, it will save you cost. Rather than fixing it at the later part, if you are able to fix it well yearly ahead, then it is going to save a lot of cost, right? So that is the main thing, and it is going to analyze the entire code base, not just the specific code, but we can have some policies customized as well. Like we can scan it for a specific source code or a specific folder also. So that is possible, but basically it scans your entire repository, like the entire code base, even the configuration phase. But it is a combination of other tools as well. So what kind of vulnerabilities it is detecting? SQL injection, cross-site scripting, buffer overflows, not many, right? So these are the common things it used to find. And yeah. So how does the SaaS work? Now we'll get a little more deeper, right? So let's see like how now we are saying like the scan is happening, my code is being protected, it's giving me the vulnerability, but how exactly it is happening? So basically your source code is being analyzed by the SaaS tool. It is going to be broken down into smallest measuring units like tokens, and it is going to be abstracted. Basically, what happens is it breaks your code into tokens and then ensures your code structure is correct, like the semantic analysis or the syntax, and all these evaluations are going to happen. And next, there are two critical things which is going to happen here. So first thing is your code is going to be abstracted into a graphical representation so that it identifies like how your function is working, how the code is relevant, dependent on the relationship between other functions. So those checks it is going to do, and then on top of it, it is going to perform two analysis. One is taint analysis, and the other one is semantic analysis. So semantic analysis is nothing but it understands the actual context and the meaning of your code, and it is going to identify the relationship between each functions and other things. So it is going to see like how your variables is being mapped to different functions, how function is being called. All those kind of setups it is going to try to understand with the semantic analysis. With the taint analysis, what it is going to do is like it is going to track your data. Like for example, if a user has injected a data, so this data is going to be tracked from the origin till the sync. Sync is nothing but like the end phase, like how your data is traversed throughout your application. So it is going to do that analysis, and if it finds any unsanitized input data coming from any user, it is going to detect and send you an alert that there is some violation and there is a vulnerability. So there are some severity levels as well, like critical, high, medium, low, info, all these things. So it is going to give you that report, and then comes the speed, like how fast the scan is happening. So we might have seen like the SaaS tools are pretty slower in some cases. Like since majority went with SonarCube, we have seen SonarCube taking more than 5 to 6 minutes. So it is time consuming as well as, but how we have the modern dev tools, how it is optimized and how it is moving forward, and we'll get a detailed dashboard as well where we can view all these vulnerabilities and other things. So with this architecture diagram, maybe I'll go with an example so that it will be easy for everyone to connect. So think of like you live in an apartment where there is some election being conducted and you are going to develop some application or you are using some voter application. So in this application, like user has entered his voter ID. Basically, it is going to the entry point for user input data. So this is a user where he is going to enter his voter ID. Right? So basically, the other tab which you are showing, which you are seeing here, entry point for the non-user input data. It's like a configuration files. Like based, for example, there is a voter list, like set of predefined list of voters who is going to come and vote. So that entire data is stored as a DB in the DB. So now what happens is when the user has inputted his data like this voter ID, it is going to it is taken as an input and the data is going to process whether that voter is available in the database or not. So it is going to do that evaluation and give the output. Basically, a voter ID is going to be counted. So that is the thing. But what happens when a user or when a voter is trying to inject some other SQL expressions along with this user input? So in that case, it might tweak the existing DB and it will make the count increase as well, right? So whenever a user has, whenever a voter has been, when he voted for against any candidate, it might increase the vote to 2 or 3 as well. So he can inject it easily. So that is the scenario which we are trying to protect, like how SaaS is protecting it. So now your source code is going to be like the existing flow which I explained. Right? So your source code is going to be tokenized and it is going to abstract the source code, conduct the semantic analysis and trait analysis, and it's going to generate an alert that so and so vulnerability has been detected because somebody, a malicious user, has tried to inject a SQL query. So that's pretty much about this architecture. Like that is how we will be able to detect it. Moving to the next one, shift left. So in today's world, right? So most of the tools we are going with shift left, but with the traditional methodology, we perform the security at the end of the life cycle, right? But with shift left, even the testings and your security related testing, all these things are going to be performed either before your either at the front of your SDLC lifecycle, or even without even executing your application, you can perform some test cases separately before it. So that is one thing, and what is going to what kind of advantage we are getting out of it. So it is going to reduce our cost, as already mentioned, and it's going to accelerate your delivery. Like developers will be able to produce a security free, more less vulnerable code to the production. So that is going to be a key thing, and the quality is going to be improved as usual. Security is enhanced, and we'll be able to collaborate better. So the DevOps will be able to collaborate easily with the security team even before the development is started. So that is one thing. And let me move to the other slide. So why SaaS and CI/CD pipelines? So there are few benefits, like there are few advantages and disadvantages as well. So let me go through each and every item, like security benefits. Like From the security point of view, what are the advantages we are getting? We'll be able to catch the vulnerabilities in the earlier phase. So that is point number one. And we'll be able to have a complete code base covered. Like your entire code base is going to be secured because SaaS is going to do that work, and your code quality is improved obviously. So you will have less vulnerable code deployed to production. From the development side, what is the benefit? We'll be able to get real-time feedback. So even from your local, like even within your ID, you will be able to get that. Easy integration, right? So you will be easily integrating the SaaS tools to your CI/CD pipelines and even to your GitHub repositories as a GitHub app. You will get instant feedback whenever there is a commit made or a PR is raised. During that time, you are going to get the feedback. And what is the business benefit? So from the business angle, there are some pros and cons as well, but from the benefit side, significantly, yeah, it is much cheaper, right? So we don't have to fix it at the later phase, which will cause a lot of confusions and a lot of cost. So we'll be able to catch it at the earlier stage, so cost is saved, compliance ready. So we are obliging to all the industry standards. Like it is going to catch most of the 99% of the vulnerability is going to be catched because most of the critical web application securities are already defined and the policies are defined. And you also get a flexibility to have your custom policies also defined and detailed reporting. Like you will get a dashboard, you can have your projects, so you will have a very good view of all the application related vulnerabilities identified and how you have resolved it, what kind of AI remediation has been given. So all those things you will be able to see from here. What is the challenge? What are the disadvantages we have with SaaS tools? So there are some cases where we see false positives as well. Like there is this tool has recognized this as a bug, but ideally it is not a issue with the code. So that is one thing which will unwantedly waste developers' time to debug it. No runtime context, like it might not be able to identify the configuration written vulnerability, but we can mitigate that using the DAST tool, like dynamic application security testing. Like it's basically like doing the testing within your application runtime itself. So that is the main thing. Language limitation, obviously, there are certain tools which provide more than 25 plus language coverage. And in our case, most of the languages, major languages which we are using, it is already covered. And limited business context, most of the time we will be working towards some deliverable, during which we will not be able to focus on this. Third-party blind spots, we might lack the, there can be some dependencies used where there will be some vulnerability which can't be identified by the SaaS tool, but we can use SEA, like software composition analysis tool combined with it, which will be more benefitable to identify these vulnerabilities as well. Moving to the next slide, yeah, SAST, SEA, and DAST. So basically, SAST and DAST, we all know, like it is white box testing and black box testing, where SAST is like you will, without even your application is executed or running, you will do this analysis against your source code. But DAST is like you will be doing the scan on within your container, like basically within your application during the runtime. And with SEA, it is going to evaluate the dependencies, like what are dependencies we have within our source code. Like if you are using some dependency files, it is going to evaluate whether that has any vulnerabilities or not. So that is how, with the combination of all three, we have our latest methodology, like interactive application security testing protocol, which will be combining the benefits of both SAST and DAST. So it has the entire use case, like you will be able to catch no can counter. So that is pretty much on this. So based on my personal research, so I've done some comparison market comparison, which tool is having based on certain parameters like scan runtime efficiency, whether the scan is happening very quick, cost obviously, and how easy it is to integrate with different tools, and lowest false positive, right? Because that will reduce the developer fatigue, right? So considering all these factors, we did some, personally, I did some research, and based on which I can go with Psycode as one of the best tools in the modern dev era. So, yeah, that is pretty much. So with Psycode as well. So basically we are currently trying to implement and we are using Cycode SaaS within our organization. So what is Cycode SaaS like? Why it is helpful? So you'll be able to seamlessly integrate it with your GitHub repositories as well as your CI/CD pipelines, and it is shiftless by its own design itself. It supports a lot of languages, and it is very easy for the developer to fix or identify the vulnerabilities even from their CLI or even from their IDs. So you will get a good dashboard where you can have a project group to it, and you'll be able to identify the application related source code well beforehand and AI implementation. So that is a key thing. Today we are living in AI world, right? So how SaaS is evolving with AI. So that is a key aspect, right? So with that, the SaaS code is identifying a vulnerability, but as a developer, I don't know how to fix it. So it is going to AI is going to give you the remediation, like what needs to be changed in your source code to make this vulnerable, remediated. So that is the key thing I would see with this book, and it is much more faster than other codes in the market, and it has very lowest false positive rates reported till date. Uh, so this is this is some few of the commands which is useful for everyone. Like you can install your site code basically to your CLI, and you can generate your client ID and client secret and use that credentials to generate a JWT token, and then make authentication and then run scan within your CLI itself, maybe from your VS Code or any other IDE tools. So maybe I will show this at the end, but maybe just keep a note of this last command Cycode asked where you are passing .cycode.yml. So this is the one which I was speaking about, where you can have your own policies defined. You can have your custom policies defined so that if there are any potential vulnerabilities that is not being detected but you are aware of it, which needs to be rectified, you can have your own policies defined as well. So yeah, this is the configuration how it will look like. You can have your own languages defined. Like you can have your inclusion and exclusion to scan. You can exclude if you feel like there are some test or any other files which doesn't needs to be scanned. You can have your custom policies, remediation rules, integration with other notification channels. All these things you can do it. Even if you want to, for example, I have my dev environment where I don't want my scan to happen, or I don't want any critical vulnerabilities to be reported. So in that case, you can distinguish between your environments, and from there also you can mark the vulnerabilities. So if it is production, it will be considered as a high priority one. So those kind of severity thresholds we can manage it from here as well. And moving to the next slide. So there are two methods, right? We can do it from your CI/CD pipeline, or we can also do it from the GitHub app, basically against your entire repository. So in your CI/CD pipeline, we know that we can easily integrate the self-process tool, and we'll be able to run the scans out of it, and we'll get the results, and then we can fail the pipeline based on the results, like based on the severity threshold. Like for example, if you want to fail the build of only if there are any critical or high violations found, then you can obviously go ahead and fail the build. So that's one thing. And with going with the next method, so it is GitHub app, right? So you can install Cycode as a GitHub app from the GitHub marketplace, and you can configure it against your repositories. And basically, whenever a commit is made or a PR is raised, it is going to check against your feature branch, like whatever code changes you have done, it is going to validate against it, and it is also going to do a scan against your trunk branch, basically your default branch. So both layer will be able to get the violations, and it is going to be reported to the respective projects in the dashboard. So with this second approach, it will be much more easier, and it would be because you are taking the GitHub app, I mean, you are taking the SaaS out of your pipeline, so it is going to save your time, right? So why a developer needs to run a CI/CD pipeline, cycle is going to take like maybe 1 or 2 minutes. Why he has to spend some time there? So if you integrate it at the repository level, it is going when a PR is ready, a CI is going to run parallelly. Behind the scenes, your cycle is going to perform the scan against your code base and in your feature branch. So that is seamless, right? And how it is going to report me? That will be the second question, right? So it is going to report on top of your peer as a comment. Like it is going to give you the message like this is a violation it is found. It will give you the severity level and which line the volunteer has been detected. What is the remediation you need to do? All those suggestions it is going to provide on top of your peer, which will help the developer to easily fix it. Yeah, this is some of the example like with the latest tools like GitHub Actions, Jenkins. So this is how we can integrate it. Yeah, so based on the critical count, we are just failing the bill. Maybe we should move to the next one. So as mentioned, this is the same thing which I mentioned for GitHub app. So in GitHub app, this is how it will look like. If you can see, Cycode is installed as a GitHub app, and on top of my PR, it is giving me the message like there is some vulnerability within your code, which will basically tell you like what is the severity and what is the type of vulnerability it has detected and what is the remediation it has to do. So we can use this remediation and do a commit which will basically revamp this scan again and it will resolve the violation. So that is pretty much. And how easy it is to integrate with IDEs, right? So you can install it it is available as an extension. You can install it within your VS Code or any other tools, and you can have your configurations mapped to it. So beyond the detection, right? So how we are remediating? So how AI is helpful over here? So it is going to give you alternate solutions. Like it is going to recommend you with the best possible approach to resolve this violation. Even before this AI era, we don't have developers have spent a lot of time in identifying the problem and trying to fix it. But with this AI remediation solution, you'll be able to identify easily, and it is going to give you the solution then and there. Basically, think of like you have a security person sitting right behind you to guide you to fix the vulnerability. So that's pretty much on AI part. So these are the sample violations, which how it will look in the Psycho UI, right? So this is how the violation will be displayed. So here, if you see, the string has been passed to this document. It has been written to this document. But whether this input is being sanitized or not, so it is not sanitized. So it is giving you the description and it is detecting against the common weakness and invention policy rule, and it is giving okay, this is a JavaScript language, so it has identified that, and it is giving you the remediation as well. So if you see, it is suggesting you to use a sanitized HTML library, which can be consumed, and you can pass it along with your user input so that it gets sanitized before even it enters into it. So that's pretty much. Okay, this is another example. This is another violation example for SQL injection. So I'll move forward because we have already covered with some examples. No, with monorepo, right? So I'm pretty much sure that everybody must have gone through this monorepo setup. So with monorepo, think of it like I have multiple applications within a single repository. So how does this SAS scan is going to happen, and it's going to report it at each application level. So I don't want to look at the entire repository. I want to look at the violation at the specific application level. So this is one of the key things. Like we have some options like where you can have your custom projects created and you can map it against label. You can have your workflow automations created within the tool, and you can map it against your project and against your labels, and you can use that labels to categorize. Basically, you will give the path of the particular application in the repository. If you're having multiple applications like app A, B, so you will give the folder path of that application A and map it against a label called application A, maybe. So you can use that label to filter so that it is going to give the violation only for that particular application. So that is one thing, and you can also group all your projects. Basically, if you have multiple projects and you want to have a clearer dashboard in terms of viewing it for the leadership, you can have a very good projects mapped together, and you can have it categorized within your vertical level as well. So that's pretty much. I'll quickly show you a demo like how it has been working with local. So basically, I'm executing a scan command within my repository itself. Like we have an application, a backend application, Java-based application. So we are executing this SAS command where I'm looking only for the security threshold as high and critical. So it is going to identify and tell me like, whether this particular repository has any critical or high violations. So we can also look at the scan time as well. So if you see, it took almost like yeah, it took almost like 1 minute 15 seconds, and it is going to give you the message like what type of violation it has identified, like severity level. It has identified two critical violation. It is giving you that count. Two critical, zero high, zero medium, low, zero info, and it is going to give you the report URL where you can get redirected and check your code base against the violation which has detected, and you can work on the remediation as well. So that is pretty much, and I can show one more demo. Uh, I've added a, so basically we have tried to show like how SAST is identifying a vulnerability within the code. So here if you see I've added a script which has some unsanitized values, so it is going to detect it. This works on the logic of GitHub app. So earlier demo which you saw, it is something related to your local testing. This is with the GitHub app integrated one, so which will identify on top of your PR. So now I have opened the PR. It is going to run the cyclone SAST. Anyways, your CHFN is running independently, but this is going to do the scan against your feature branch in your PR. It is not going to do the entire code scan here. It is just going to do the scan only against the changes which you have made in your feature branch. So this is going to evaluate and it is going to give you the message. It hardly takes like 30 seconds. That's what we have noticed. So it is going to give you the message. Yeah, so if you see here, it is Cyclone bot has dropped a comment saying that there is a violation found. So its severity level is high, and it is giving you the remediation solution as well. And on top of it, like what will be the case like if there are some false positives? So how do we ignore it? So you can do it from your CLI as well. So you can execute some commands where you can ignore your violations, and you can also do it from the console. And from the CA perspective, we have configured it in a way like where we can add some command to ignore these violations. So that is pretty much like it is going to give you the severity and the description and the remediation. So we will quickly show that. Yeah, so it is suggesting to sanitize this user input by using some libraries here, and it is giving you the suggestion. Once we make these changes and we do another command, it is going to run the scan again and it is going to remediate it. So the violation will be free and it will enable you to merge your change. Before, without remediating it, your PR won't be allowed to merge. So this is like a game changer, right? So your main trunk branch is always safe. So you are not giving any chances to have it some vulnerability. So yeah, that's pretty much. Any questions? There are no questions. We can may have to go to it. Maybe you can connect with me after this.
The observation the cycle did. The GitHub Copilot agent, you set the context that it has to do this step. It actually does that. You don't need a third party like Cycle. You just set the context saying that you want your GitHub Copilot agent, which is already integrated in GitHub Copilot and GitHub, to perform this kind of a testing. It does it for you and gives you all whatever you explain is already part of that also. That's something that you might want to explain.
Yeah, we'll definitely.
We'll have a feedback for the session. Please scan the QR and share your feedback. Okay, next for 15 minutes we'll take a break and then we'll clear again.
Please grab your drinks order.
ஸ்டாப் பண்ணணுமா பாஸ் பண்ணணுமா
என்கிட்ட கொடுத்துருவா
இல்லை எண்டு கொடுத்தா முடிஞ்சிரும்னு நினைக்கிறேன்.
ஆமாம்
அப்போ வந்து
பாஸ் பண்ண முடியாதுன்னு நினைக்கிறேன் போல இல்லை
ஹரிஷா
பாஸ் பண்ணுற ஆப்ஷன் இல்லை.
சரி என் பண்ணிட்டு திருப்பி ஆரம்பிக்க முடியுங்களா?
ஆ
யா என் ஸ்ட்ரீம்